There once lived a man named Samuel in a small town in Ohio, not far from a wide river and long open fields. The town was ordinary: a few factories, a school, a church, streets where nothing much changed. Samuel had lived there his whole life. He was 40 years old and worked as a night security guard at a closed manufacturing plant. His job was simple: walk the same halls, check the same doors, sit in a small room and watch empty screens. The nights were long, quiet, too quiet. Samuel often felt like his life was on pause, as if he were waiting for something that never came. When he was younger, Samuel believed he would leave the town. He believed he would build something meaningful, maybe a business, maybe a better life. But years passed. His parents got sick. Money was never enough. Dreams were pushed aside, not loudly, but slowly, until they became easy to ignore. Samuel lived alone in a small apartment above a closed bakery. The sign was still there, faded and broken. He liked that sign. It reminded him that things once had purpose. Every morning, after his night shift, Samuel walked home while others were waking up. He passed people heading to work, children waiting for the bus, shop owners unlocking doors. He felt invisible, like he existed between moments. One morning, as he walked past the river, he noticed an old man sitting on a bench. The man was feeding birds with small pieces of bread. He did not look rushed. He did not look tired. He looked present. Samuel passed him without a word. The next morning, the old man was there again. Same bench, same calm. The birds gathered without fear. On the third morning, Samuel stopped. "You come here early every day?" Samuel said. The old man smiled. "I come here when the world is quiet." Samuel nodded. "I work nights." "That explains the tired eyes," the old man said gently. Samuel laughed without humor. They sat together for a few minutes. The river moved slowly. The sun climbed higher. "What do you do?" Samuel asked. "I listen," the old man said. "To what?" "To what is still here." Samuel did not understand, but he felt something soften inside him. They began to talk some mornings about small things: weather, the town, the birds. The old man's name was Walter. He had been a mechanic most of his life. He had raised children. He had lost his wife. He lived alone now. One morning, Samuel finally said what he had been carrying for years. "I feel like my life is wasted," he said. "I did everything I was supposed to do, and still, here I am." Walter looked at the river for a long time. "Do you see that water?" he asked. Samuel nodded. "It never stays still," Walter said, "but it also never rushes." Samuel frowned. "When I was young," Walter continued, "I thought life was a race. I worked fast. I talked fast. I wanted results. I wanted proof that I mattered, and I missed a lot." "Like what?" Samuel asked. "Like mornings," Walter said. "Like people. Like myself." Samuel said nothing. Walter reached into his pocket and pulled out a small stone, smooth, gray. "I carried this stone for years," he said. "I picked it up one day when my wife was sick. I thought if I kept it with me, things would get better. They didn't. She passed away. The stone did nothing." "Then why keep it?" Samuel asked. Because it reminds me, Walter said, some things are not meant to fix life. They are meant to remind you to live it. Samuel thought about that all day. That evening at work, the halls felt longer than usual. The screens blinked. The clock moved slowly. Samuel felt tired of waiting for life to begin. When he got home, he did something different. He cleaned his apartment, not quickly, carefully. He threw away old papers. He fixed a loose cabinet. He cooked a simple meal instead of eating packaged food. It felt strange, small, but real. The next morning, he sat with Walter again. I cleaned my place, Samuel said. Walter smiled. Good. That's it, Samuel asked. That's living. Walter laughed softly. It's a start. Days turned into weeks. Samuel kept sitting by the river. He began walking instead of scrolling his phone. He started reading again. Old books. Nothing impressive. He noticed how often he used to complain, how often he rushed without going anywhere. One afternoon, Samuel helped a neighbor carry groceries. Another day, he fixed a broken step for an elderly woman downstairs. He did not post about it. He did not tell anyone. He simply did it. Slowly, something shifted. Samuel still worked nights. His life did not change on the outside, but inside, the heaviness was lighter. One morning, Walter did not show up. The bench was empty. Samuel waited. The next day, still empty. On the third day, Samuel learned that Walter had passed away quietly in his sleep. At the small funeral, few people came. Samuel stood in the back. He felt a deep sadness, but also gratitude. After the service, Samuel walked to the river alone. He sat on the bench where Walter used to sit. The birds gathered anyway. Samuel remembered the stone. Weeks later, while cleaning the riverbank with a local group, Samuel found a small smooth stone, gray, almost the same. He held it for a moment, then he placed it back by the water. Life continued. Samuel applied for a day job at a community center. The pay was similar. The hours were better. He helped organize events. He spoke to people. He felt useful. He still had doubts, still had tired days, but he no longer felt invisible. One evening, sitting by the river again, Samuel understood something simple. Life does not arrive with a sign. It does not announce itself. It is already happening quietly. While we wait for something louder, Samuel stopped waiting. He began showing up, and that was enough.